just want to welcome everybody to the J.E. Broyhill Civic Center today. Wow, it is so good to see everybody. It's so good to be out and about. Spring has sprung, and with that, as you all know, our annual fund drive season begins. I want to thank everyone for being with us today to kick off Campaign 2023, the Communities College. The last few years have been absolutely incredible in setting campaign records, and with your help, this year will be no exception, and it'll be no different. You are all amazing. The captains and volunteers in this room are at the heart of our efforts to help spread the word about the value of support for CCC&TI and its students. Many of you bring years of experience, and the reason is simple. We all know the key to a better future is education. This year, we are raising the bar a little higher with a campaign goal of, are y'all ready? $405,000. Yes, woo! We will need that much just to cover the 2023 priorities, which you will hear about a little later in the day. In the meantime, I invite you to continue enjoying your special meal, which has been prepared by Chef Corey and his culinary staff. And we'll be starting again in just a few minutes. Thank you very much. Hello again. If I could have your attention, please continue with your wonderful lunch as we move along with our program. And we know that many of you have schedules today. We're very aware of that. As you know, CCC&TI is our communities college. When I think about all the ways the college helps educate our next generation of workers, responds to community needs, and nurtures its students, I can't tell you how fortunate we are to have CCC&TI in our own backyard. I am so excited for the work we are about to do in helping students have access to education and become successful citizens. Because you are with us today, I know that you already understand that by supporting the CCC&TI Foundation, you are investing in your own future and building our community for generations to come. CCC&TI has so many, many touch points. It's hard to paint the picture with just one person to chair the campaign, as we have done in past years. This year, we have turned to 4 college leaders to share their perspective on what makes CCC&TI special and how your support makes such a difference. Let's watch a special video message from these 4 leaders now. Let's roll on.
Being on the Board of Trustees of the Caldwell Community College and Technical Institute has been a pleasure for me. We have very well designed programs. We have great students, and those great students are supported by an outstanding faculty, and our faculty is supported by outstanding and excellent leadership. It is a pleasure for me to be associated with an institution that is so good at what it does, both in terms of the fact that the quality of the product itself is good, but the way we go about it, including the community and the community's needs in our process to determine what we want to do. I am very pleased and honored to be on the Board of Trustees of Caldwell Community College and Technical Institute.
The student, when they come to CCC&TI, they have this sense of community, starting with the first person that they encounter when they walk through our doors. Everybody is willing to help the student 100% from the day one to the day of the graduation. That have not only an impact in the student, the impact goes directly to their families and therefore to the community.
So what makes Caldwell Community College great? All I can say is it's the people. I have been at Caldwell Community College for over 12 years, and 9 years of that was spent directly on the Watauga campus. And everywhere I go, one of the things that I always get a sense for is how caring and accessible and just available people are on this campus. So I believe that one of the things that makes Caldwell Community College special is the fact that we're willing to go that extra mile. We are willing to be able to say to someone who comes to our campus, where do you need to go? Oh, well, let me get you there. Let me walk you there. Let me be able to take you as a partner in this, to be able to, this journey to where it is you need to go. And I think that's one of the things that makes this campus, and as well as, our college, so special in our community.
As SGA president, the foundation has helped our students in ways more than I could ever ask for. It is something that you really can only see through your own eyes. They have really helped pay for college tuitions. You can see the relief off of people when they don't have to pay for their last semester. And that is something that really makes me happy to say that CCC&TI and the foundation is working for our students.
Wow, wasn't that great? That's the Caldwell CCC&TI way. Let's give them another big hand. Thank each of our 4 people for being our stars and for being with us today. We're going to see it again. It was so good. Y'all want to see it again? Let me hear it. Okay. Thank each of the 4 people for being here today. These are our stars. And I'd like to introduce these folks to you now. If you'll please stand when I call your name and remain standing. Jim Sponenberg. Jim is serving on the CCC&TI Board of Trustees, and he is a longtime supporter of the college. Ronald Holstein, is newly named Executive Director of the Watauga campus, and we thank you for your comments. Jessica Teeters could not be here today. She is our outreach navigator, and she is also a student. Emily Norwood is our SGA president at CCC&TI. Join me, please, in thanking them for a great job on our video. And everyone, I'd like for you to please take time, you don't have to do it right now, but sometime, take time to look at the brochures in your packets. And you will see our 4 stars who are featured. And you'll hear some comments that they are reiterating from our video. Another person who tells the college's story especially well is our own vice chair for the foundation, Deborah Murray. I want to call on her now to share her thoughts on the value of CCC&TI to the community. We thank Deborah for her insight and her leadership to the foundation. And here she is, Deborah. We'll get her cane.
Well, good afternoon. Good afternoon. There we go. There we go. Sometimes Peg gives me these assignments at the last minute, and I've had too much time to think about this one. So you guys are just going to have to bear with me. So I look across this room, and I see a wealth, first, of friendship and experience and wisdom, accomplishment, and inspiration, and resources, and I could go on and on and on. And because of that, because of who you are, I'd love to hear your answer to this question, but this is just a moment for a little bit of introspection. And I want to ask you this. Do you remember a time in your life when your own possibilities gave you goosebumps? Do you remember when that was? I've had that moment a few times in my life, recently, by the way. But I remember the first time. I was a college student. I don't remember if I was a sophomore or a junior, but I was a college student. It was Thanksgiving break, and I was reading the newspaper, imagine that. And there was a full-page ad that said, "When was the last time your own possibilities gave you goosebumps?" I still remember that to this day. It was probably American Express, was probably what it was. I don't remember what it was. But I've thought about that so many times over the years, that when you're a college student and you get that moment when you start to realize what path you're on, when you can see that path, when you've been exposed to the things you want to know more about, when you know that there's a passion there, and you can see your way getting there, and you know you're going to be able to do that. There is nothing more exhilarating than that, to be able to see, I know where I am, I know where I'm going, and I cannot wait. Now, I thought that was neat, and I'm excited to tell you that we're doing that for a whole lot of people at Caldwell Community College and Technical Institute. That's what it's all about. Now, Peg said talk about the value, and that's where the value begins. That's where the seed is planted, and that's where these folks are able to define, or at least begin to see their passion and their purpose. But the community part of this, when she's talking about it, the community just seems so small, doesn't it? It's like, it's family, it's a neighborhood, it's church, it's a small place. And I've been thinking about that too. And I want to show you that that is not at all the case. So, shut your eyes, please, for a few minutes. Peg can't get around very fast, so you don't have to hold on to your wallet yet. Just shut your eyes. Shut your eyes and look up and imagine, if you will, the most beautiful, clear, North Carolina, Caldwell County mountain starry sky. And all those stars up there. You see the North Star? You see the Big Dipper, Orion, Little Dipper? You see all those stars that are up there, and the clearer the night, the further back you can see. This is the absolute best and greatest example of community that there is, because it's about the relationship between all of those stars that makes it what it is. Do you see that shooting star? North Carolina Community College President of the Year, Mark Port. Now you can open your eyes for a minute and think about this. All those stars up there keep going on forever and ever. And if you could see them all, there's layer after layer after layer. There is absolutely no limit to it. But those stars are first our faculty and our staff. And around them are clustered their students. And around them are their families and their friends and the influence that they have. And then there are their employers. And then there are the graduates. And there are the families that they provide and support and inspire. And it just keeps going and going and going, kind of like you guys. So coming back to this, I want to ask you this. The Starry Night just goes on forever. There's absolutely no limit to the relationships that all of those stars are. You remove a star from the Big Dipper, it's not the Big Dipper anymore. It's just that simple. And yet the collection of them all is the absolute greatest example of community. So I want to ask you this. When was the last time your own possibilities gave you goosebumps? And I hope that your answer is right now, today. Because what you're embarking on, again, this year with this Foundation Fund Drive is the ability to help remove the barriers to allow other people to get goosebumps for their own possibilities, just like all of us did a few times in our life. And speaking of goosebumps, it is my great pleasure and privilege to introduce to you and ask to come to the podium North Carolina's Community College President of the Year and our President, Dr. Mark Porch. Would you please stand in honor of his accomplishment?
Thank you so much. Good afternoon, everybody. It's great to be with you. And Dina, I have notes. I think she prefers when I have notes because she says I stay on track a little bit more and I don't deviate and talk forever. So it's great to be with you. Thank you, Deborah. I don't think I need to say anything either. After the video and our stars in that video and listening to our chair and to our vice chair, I just need to take you guys around everywhere I go and take that video with me and play that thing and let folks listen to you talk about the college, and that tells our story. But it's great to be with you. Before I get into just a couple of remarks, let's wish Mayor Gibbons a happy birthday. Happy birthday, Mayor. And just to introduce a couple of guests to you who typically aren't here, but they were in town, and I invited them to come, and I said, what better way to learn about the great things going on at Caldwell Community College and Technical Institute than to come to hear it for yourself at our annual Fund Drive Luncheon, and that is Miss Robin Ramsey from Senator Tillis's office is here. Thank you for being here. And Ms. Cindy Thompson from Congresswoman Fox's office. Thank you for being here. Keep telling our story in D.C. and around North Carolina, everywhere you go. We appreciate your support. Both the chair and the vice chair, I think, mentioned the community's college. We're very proud to utilize that tagline in everything that we do and market that. But more than that, I think we believe it and we walk the walk and not only talk the talk. And what I'd like to tell you is, since we came out of COVID, your community college has been thriving. Your community college has been playing offense and not defense. And as you know, that doesn't happen just everywhere. And I know you've read the news, you've seen some of the stories across North Carolina. And I'm happy to tell you that your community college is in great shape, doing great things and continuing to thrive. And it's because of you in this room and so many other partners that we're able to do so. A couple of highlights for you. Our spring enrollment in our curriculum areas is up 79 students from this time last year. So we're continuing to grow. All three instructional areas of the college, curriculum, our workforce and continuing education side, and our adult education basic skills side, FTE estimates for spring are all up. So that's what drives our budget. And we have a school board member here, Miss Ann, and I'm happy to tell you that our partnership with our school systems, both in Caldwell and Watauga, continue to thrive. We have over 1,300 high school students taking at least one community college course currently with us. Folks, that's 39% of our enrollment at the college. We could not do what we do without Dr. Phipps and Dr. Elliott and the support of those two boards and their employees across the school system. So we thank them very, very much. I want to mention one thing around adult learners. The investment that you made last year and the support of the foundation board resulted in, find the number here, 64 more adult students enrolled this past fall at CCC&TI than there was a year ago, and these are 25 and older students. So 64 more students enrolled, and here's the remarkable stat about that. Those people who started with us in the fall, 96% of them finished. 96% of them. This board invested $45,000 to support that initiative through tuition, child care support, transportation support, all those wraparound services for our students, and it worked. 96% of them finished. And what I would say is since 1964, since we opened the doors, by the way, we'll be 60 next year. We're going to have a big party, Madam Chair. We're going to be 60. We've been about students since 1964, and we've been about student success. Deborah, we've been committed to removing barriers for students, and we've been focused on serving this community. We've been the community's college, and we're continuing to try to respond and respond in a big way. We've got new facilities getting ready to come out of the ground. We've got what will be the biggest, largest building on the Caldwell campus and a health sciences facility. We're in the design phases now. I'm headed to Raleigh after this. We need more money. We need to be able to build the building that we need to build, and we're about a lot short. I'm glad our DC people are here. Maybe they can help us in DC. But we need to continue to try to find some additional money. We were allocated $23 million for this facility. Right now, it's estimated to be somewhere in the mid-70 million kind of range. So we've got some more work to do, but we're going to build this building, and we're going to figure out a way to do it. And we're hoping that we can get some additional legislative support. When that building was estimated, of course, that was pre-COVID, pre-construction price increases, all those different kinds of things. But this is going to be a remarkable asset for this community for years and years to come. And we look forward to going through the project. We've been to visit 3 other health sciences facilities in Western North Carolina over the past month or so. We had a meeting yesterday with our architects to continue to work on the plans for that facility, and it's going to be remarkable. We've engaged our hospital partners in that discussion. They've been part of that and are going to continue to be, but we look forward to providing that for this community that, again, is going to help us train and educate the next generation of healthcare workers for our community. Similar kind of a project in Watauga County with the expansion of our occupational building to allow us to add construction trades programs there and also expand our nursing program. That project will move along a lot quicker. It's a 10,000 square foot addition, and we look to hopefully be able to come out of the ground with that project this summer. We also have 7 acres on the back side of the property you may or may not be aware of. It's kind of across the street from the electrical line worker facility that's going to become the Larry W. Taylor intramural sports field. Our Board of Trustees just named that site at their last meeting, so we look forward to providing that for our community and for our students and be able to offer additional opportunities for physical education courses and other things in our community. We could not do those things without the support of this foundation. And if you know the category, academic support funds, that supports the things that go inside of our buildings, our supplies, our equipment, curriculum development, all of those kinds of things that we do with that money. So thank you very much. Our Board of Trustees at their meeting next week will entertain 2 possible new programs that we hope to be approved. One is a 2-year degree in criminal justice. We continue to hear from our public safety and law enforcement community that our law enforcement officers need additional training. We also think, and this will be a great thing for high school students to get involved with early through Career and College Promise. And the second program being computer integrated machining, which is what we continue to hear from our manufacturers that they're needing. So lots of exciting things happening at the institution. Our students are thriving, by the way, they're doing well. I mentioned the adult learners. Another group I'll mention to you are our student athletes. A new priority that you'll see on the list this year that the Foundation Board has endorsed, which we greatly appreciate, is to support our athletic program through the Foundation. Just for those of you who may not know, we're unable by law to put any state funds into our athletics program, so we have to raise the money to be able to support those programs. We have currently about 100 student athletes on campus who are full-time, and they are some of our best and brightest students. The average GPA of our student athletes this fall was above a 3.0. 13 student athletes made the Dean's List, which means their GPA fell between a 3.5 and a 3.99. And we had 14 students who made the President's List, which means they had a perfect 4.0 GPA in the fall. On the court and on the field, our men's basketball team just won the Region 10 regular season championship, and they're playing on Friday at 2 o'clock in the region tournament in hopes of back-to-back trips to the national tournament. I was not with you last year because this fell on when they were playing in Hutchinson, Kansas. So I was out there with them. But they play this weekend down at Cape Fear Community College in hopes of making a return trip to Kansas. We just had one of our players, Toya Solomon, who was named Region 10 Player of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year, and First Team All-Region. And another player, Jaden Miller, named as Second Team All-Region. And our basketball coach was just named Coach of the Year. He also, earlier in February, won his 100th game as head coach at Caldwell Community College and Technical Institute, so we recognized him for that. Our baseball and softball teams are also playing currently and doing great. And so again, we have a great story to tell at Caldwell Community College, and our story is being told across North Carolina and beyond. Just a week or so ago, we had Education North Carolina in town doing a documentary called Anchored in Caldwell, where they interview people, leaders in our community, focused on partnerships. Dr. Phipps was involved in our school system. The hub station in Hudson, Ann Smith, who was very instrumental in that, who's also a trustee, was part of that interview. Many of our business and industry partners. And the EdNC people said this, that they wish they could bottle up what we have here in Caldwell County and share it, beyond the borders of where we serve. And they said it's because of our passion and our enthusiasm. And they said, what is your secret sauce? And my answer to that would be, it's people in this room. It's people in our halls and in our classrooms, our faculty, our staff who are doing the work. And it's all the partners that we have the pleasure and privilege of working with. And I say this all the time, but partnerships matter. And we could not do what we do without you. And the foundation and the volunteers for the fund drive are a vital part of what we do. Thank you for your personal investment. Thank you for your continued investment of time. And thank you for telling our story. CCC&TI is your community college. Thank you very much. At this time, we are going to turn our attention to another video, I think, and then we'll hear from Marla Christie, our Executive Director of the Foundation. Thank you so much.
The scholarship is extremely important to me. I don't think I could be here right at this point in time without the scholarship that I received. We've had a lot of financial hardship, so the fact that somebody was willing to help me out has just been tremendous. I've been trying to work and go to school and just kind of half it, make it work, and this just takes an extreme burden off. It lets me focus more on my school, doing automotive technology, and at some point in time I would like to be a high-level technician. I'd like to open my own shop and be able to help the community. So just the fact that I was able to receive any kind of help is extremely amazing to me. I still remember the time, when I saw that I received the scholarship, I was extremely excited. and I knew that it was just going to be so much easier.
I'm working on getting a communications degree, hopefully at UNC Charlotte, but also potentially App State, failing UNC Charlotte, with a minor in business because I would like to own my own publishing company. I've always been really interested in fantasy, and books kind of raised me as a child, so I want to be able to help some other little girl be able to find her own world. Whenever I got the scholarship, it was in an email, and I literally happy jumped. I immediately went to all of my family and I was telling them about it because this means that I can eat, that I can get gas, that I can afford tuition, and it's incredible to me, especially as a first-generation college student. It's like, it gets so intimidating. And so the kind of support that I've been given, it's crazy.
Without the scholarship, I definitely wouldn't be sitting here right now. So I'm very grateful that I am one of the recipients of it. It really did mean a lot to me because my dad died just a few months ago, and it's just been really hard since then, and trying to figure out like how I'm gonna pay for school and bills, and then also being depressed because my dad died and I just didn't want to keep doing it anymore, but I still did. I'm undecided, but I have interest in healthcare and some business, but I kind of want to learn everything. Like, if that's a thing people can do, then I want to learn everything. Like, I want to do business, I want to do healthcare. I'll teach all of it to somebody and just keep going from there and learn as much as I can.
When I found out I received the scholarship, I was over the moon actually, because I was kind of nervous. I was like, maybe I'm not gonna get it. How am I gonna go to school? I really hope I get it. But when I got the email first. I wasn't waiting for the letter. When I got the email, I was like, oh my gosh. I called my mom, I was like, Mama, I get to go to school this semester. I'm so happy. And she was like, that's great. And I'm just over the moon. Like, I'm very, very thankful because the scholarship is going to help me finish school so I can be able to provide for my daughter. And yeah, from the bottom of my heart, I'm just thankful.
I was really thrilled to actually have this scholarship. It was the first scholarship that I actually did receive. So it wasn't only just a financial boost, but it was definitely a big confidence boost.
Without this scholarship that I was awarded, it would have been difficult and somehow impossible to do it. So thank you so much.
Coming back to college was a lifesaver for me. So for me personally, the scholarships mean a lot to me, a lot. It has helped me better my life. And I'm thankful, very thankful.
Thank you so much for awarding the scholarship to me.
Wow, this is why we do what we do. This is why we're here today, and these are just a few of our scholarship recipients from this past year. And with your help this past year, the foundation was able to award 683 scholarships, just like this. Our internal college campaign with employees and students began last month. We have 19 college captains this year. Many of you are here with us today, including our administration, and there's this thing called the Caldwell Way. And we talk about how we're the community's college, but this college is also a community and a family. And with that, I'm excited to share with you that as of today, we internally have raised a record of over $42,000. That's 7,000 more than last year's all-time high. And we're still working. Students are still holding fundraisers, and that just touches my heart to the students, helping students. So Emily, thank you to you. Thank you to our ambassadors. Thank you for all your hard work. And so if you're a college employee or a student, will you please stand and let's give these folks a round of applause. I know you've already heard a lot of great information here today. If you look in your folders, you'll find this year's priorities outlined on your green sheets. Scholarships, of course, are a top priority from general scholarships, that's merit and need-based. to our Signature Dream Award for first graders, for sixth graders, promise of full tuition, to the Bernhardt Family Scholarship for single parents, and hundreds more. Dr. Porch already touched on athletics and academic support. I want to touch on our student aid priority because life happens, right? And probably Dina Holman could tell this story better than anybody in this room, but we've had students who stay on campus from 8 in the morning to 9 at night when we close due to transportation issues. We've had more than a few lose everything in a fire. We hear food insecurities often. We had one who needed eyeglasses to be successful in class. I received a phone call one night from a friend of mine that one of our trucking students from Lumberton with a family, 3 kids at home, he drove down here each week during the week and stayed at Leo's. So others have trouble with the internet access or keeping the lights on. Some have a car breakdown or a tire blew out. Many are one paycheck away from disaster, but they're trying. In fact, one of the students you saw here on the video was in the hospital, still turning in assignments, So it's amazing. We're helping them finish their education through funding with emergency assistance, counseling, and even childcare needs. Get out your pens. I have just a couple of facts for you that you may want to jot down. This is from this past academic year, 2021-22. 44% of curriculum students, first generation, 22% are minorities. The average age of all students is 30. Last year, we added a priority under student aid for adult learners. More than half of our students are age 24 or older, and the foundation provided special support for this group. In your Chronicle newsletters, in your packets, you can read about a few of these students. There's one article about a female welding student, and then a transfer student who went on and is now enrolled at Columbia University. Let me ask you a question. How many of you went to high school, college, got a job, got married, and started your family in that order? Please stand up. Okay, there you go. Okay, Gideon stood up. There's no correct order, but if you spend any time with our students, this is usually not the case for them. Okay, another question. How many of you held the same job or had one employer for more than 10 years? Stand up. All right, Peg, you're exempt. Keep standing if you were with that one employer, with that one same job more than 15 years. More than 20? More than 25? Okay, you can sit down. Do you know at Caldwell Community College, because you love us. Because you love us, right, Rosie? Today, people hold an average of 12 jobs in a lifetime. Times have changed. We call many of our students non-traditional, but this is becoming more of the norm. Please take time to review the brochures in your folders. That includes our why and our how. These have also been translated for the first time in Spanish this year, thanks to Jessica Teeters, our outreach navigator who couldn't be with us today. So they will be going out with letters to your prospects this week. The donor categories are on your blue sheets in your folders, and your tips for talking with prospects are on pink. If you're a volunteer, please be sure to connect with your team captain, trade contact information, and work on suggesting new people to call on for support. You know, people may have moved into the community, there are lots of new businesses. Last year we had 47 new donors. Over half of those were internal, but this is critical for us. So put on your thinking caps and be thinking of new prospects to call on to support the college. Most of all, thank you for all you do and all you're about to do. Call us anytime for help. Our contact information for the Foundation office is on your agendas, so hang on to these. And I will turn it back over to Peg.
Marla, what fantastic news. This is just incredible. The faculty, staff, and students have just set a brand new record, and they've had some really good records in the past. This is absolutely wonderful. They are amazing. We are so thankful that the college really comes together and takes on its very own internal campaign year after year that is so well supported. All of you in here who are faculty and staff and students, your success on your campaign sets the pace for our community campaign, which we're kicking off as we speak. And it is a huge testament to your belief in the college and the value of education. So please join me in giving the faculty, the staff, the students a big round of applause. We thank them for leading the way for us. Congratulations, job well done. White scars, right? They're the Big Dipper. They're the big dipper. Our fund drive is no small task, and year after year, we truly are blessed to have so much help from the captains and the volunteers in this room. And at this time, I'd like to recognize our captains and their teams. And of course, I'm starting off with Barbara Freeman, who has written the book on campaigns. Barbara.
I have a really great team, but they're invisible. I don't know if it's something I said. How about raising your pledge? But I'm so happy to be here, and I'm so proud of all of you and what we're doing. And I did have the good company of the Watauga team over here with me. They kept me company, so I'll catch my guys.
Have no fear, Barbara will get it done. Our next captain could not be here, Doug Johnson, but Joan McGee is here to represent her team. Joan?
Yes, and I'm having two missing today, but we have Donna Bell and Dr. Bell and Ann Edwards and Dick Mitchell and Jenny Herman and Karen Finley are not here today.
Okay, thank you. We know y'all are going to do another super job for us. You always do. And then there is the president of the year of the North Carolina Community College System, Dr. Mark Porch. There he is.
We have a great team. We bring people out of retirement, and they continue to work for us. I think most of the ladies are here. The guys aren't here, so we're missing the Jimmy Hemphill today and Martin Transu, but we appreciate them serving on our team. Dr. Sheldon Altman is here. Roseanne Annis, Elaine Lockhart is here. I don't think Mary Kincaid's here, but she's also on the team. Alice, I saw Alice Christmas. Oh, she had to leave. And that may happen. But looking forward to another great year with our team. Thanks so much.
Great. Mary Frances Sullivan could not be here today, but her cohort is Jeannie Wisnut. Jeannie, where are you?
I think she slipped out.
Okay, all right, we'll get her in just a minute. And Barbara has already kind of told you about the special guest we have at her table, and I would just like to introduce to y'all, and you all know him, he's our very own one-man team from Watauga, Mr. Wade Wilmot. Yay, give him a hand. Wade, we're thrilled to have you with us today. Thank you for making that long journey down from Boone, North Carolina. We'll keep you if you want us to. We'd love to have you just stay down here. And I want to thank Tony for bringing Mr. Wilmot down here. Tony, we're always delighted to have you with us, and we invite you back for the celebration. Okay? My team is made up of Hunt Broyhill, Joe Gibbons, and it's his birthday. Shall we sing happy birthday? I'm going to stand away from the microphone. Okay. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Mayor. Happy birthday to you. Woo! And many more. We planned this special day for Joe. Let's see, Becky Gibbons is on my team, and Ann Lindsay Bell could not be here today. Dr. Wayne Holler had to leave. Janet Winkler is out of town. Ron Chase is here, and we are going to we're going to raise more money this year than we did last year, aren't we, team? There is definitely a lot of power in this room, and we thank you for helping us to once again have a very successful campaign. You have proved year after year that no goal is too high and no event can dampen your spirits or your determination, such as something like COVID or COVID coming again or a pandemic or whatever it happens to be. You just keep going through good times and bad times. You have not stopped, and you didn't quit. You kept texting and emailing, telephoning, and some of you were brave enough to get out there and make person-to-person calls. It's just amazing what y'all have been able to do in the past. I've lost my place. Okay, I'm coming. So what I need to tell you is that this year we will need to do even more to raise the money that we need to raise for our goal and to be able to cover all of our priorities. Now, okay, Marla asked me to ask you to please call their office if you have any new people that you want to add to our supporter list. There are a lot of people out there that we're not touching, and I'd like for you to think about those people and who we can add to our list. If you'll call the office and give them the names and the addresses, then they'll get the information out to them. So call them at any time you have a question. Before I do close, and this is almost a close, I want to add my special thanks to the Broyhill Catering Group, to Chef Corey, and his culinary students. They did an outstanding job today, I thought. The Civic Center staff, Director Kim Edenston and Davis Branch, for her technical support, which we couldn't do without. And at the college, our marketing department, especially to Edward Terry, Amy Bowman, and Ron Wilson. Our videographer today is Philip Dietz, and we want to thank him and give him a shout out for the 2 videos that he produced, and we thank him so much. And the foundation department is headed up by Marla Christie, and we have in that area Lauren Dula, Shayna Dyson, and Lynn Holder. These gals orchestrated and have orchestrated the campaign for 2023. They have also planned our Spring is Sprung Luncheon today. So we want to give them a big thanks and thank you for all you do. Most of all, a big thank you to each person here especially those of you on the community campaign side of the campaign for 2023, our Communities College, CCC&TI. I can feel the momentum. I looked around when Marla was talking, when Emily was speaking, when we were looking at the videos, when Dr. Porch was speaking, when Deborah was doing her amazing talk that she always does. And if I gave her any more time to think about it, can you imagine we'd be here till next week? I mean, she's just amazing. But when I think about everything that everybody said, it's just so true. And I just want to thank each of you that are getting ready to go out to raise the money, to get the checks, to get the pledges, whatever it takes, so that we can go over $405,000. So I want to thank you for your commitment. I want to wish you the very best of luck. I know we're going to need it, but we always get it. And y'all, let's set another record, and then we'll come back in August and have another celebration. Thank each of y'all. We can do it. Thank y'all for being here.